Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to 30 Albums for 30 Years, 1964 through 1994. I am your host, Jay Sweet. We have a great one for you today. The Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, released May 16th of 1966, recorded between July 12th, 1965, through April 13th, 1966. This one took a while to record, and when you hear just what's happening with this music, you'll understand why. Now, if you could, stay tuned to the end of this podcast because I have a very exciting announcement that I want to share with you. But for now, gather your dog, gather your cats, and let's enjoy the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. All right, so I've already done several programs on the Beach Boys. So if you want to learn more about their history, you can go to season number 1 and season number 2 and review those records. So with tracks from albums like All Summer Long, 1964, and the Beach Boys Today, 1965, Beach Boys visionary and principal songwriter Brian Wilson began heavily experimenting with new thematic materials, innovative songwriting techniques, unique arrangements, studio overdubbing, and lush orchestration to move the group away from their earlier, more formulaic songs about surfing, cars, girls, and other themes connected with California youth culture. While he had already begun moving the group into a more sophisticated sound and direction, it was the Beatles' album Rubber Soul that truly encouraged Brian Wilson to try to create an album that matched the Beatles' new direction and creative genius. Not all the Beach Boys members were so keen on this new, more experimental sound, with Mike Love being the most outspoken about the increased creative control Brian Wilson took in the making of this record. And they looked at the album more as a Brian Wilson solo project than a group effort. While the record kept the Beach Boys in the top 10 in the US, it was less commercially successful than their previous albums, but it was and is critically acclaimed. Pet Sounds has since become one of the most discussed, scrutinized, and celebrated records ever. Okay, so now as we move into listening to the album, I just want to point out once again that if you're listening on Spotify Premium, you will get the full song. And if you're listening on the free version or some other service, you will only get a 30-second clip, which is okay. You could take that clip, check out a portion of the tune, and then revisit the entire album by going to YouTube or getting the record. All right, let's continue. All right, what do you say we do this thing? We drop the needle on side number 1, track number 1, and the song is Wouldn't It Be Nice, which epitomizes the Beach Boys sound on this record. Brian Wilson crafted the work with lyrical collaboration from Wilson's writing partner, Tony Asher. The lyrics reflect the themes of youthful longing and optimism. This top 10 hit showcases hallmark characteristics such as lush arrangements, unique instrumentation, intricate vocal layering, tempo variations, and dynamic shifts. Now, all of these elements would matter little if the song were not so catchy. Notably, the song features contributions from these acclaimed studio musicians known as the Wrecking Crew. And the Wrecking Crew adds layers of polish and precision to the track. Surprisingly, the Beach Boys themselves did not perform instruments on this track. In fact, they didn't perform on many of these tracks. They mostly just sang on the record. So instead, it was the Wrecking Crew who were brought in to add the instrumentation. Some notable contributions to this track include Frank Capp on glockenspiel and timpani, Barney Kessel, the jazz legend, on mandolin guitar, Carol Kay plays bass, and Hal Blaine lends his talents on drums. Wouldn't it be nice if more popular music of today included such virtuosity and individualism. This is a great one. Please enjoy the classic, Wouldn't It Be Nice?